The new owners of Midway Mall invite you to participate with over 50 stores who are presently part of our landscape. With thousands of repeat customers weekly, we're now offering from 1 to 3 months free rent to credit-worthy renters. Midway Mall has a space to accommodate any need at steep discount prices. Come and take advantage of our free Wi-Fi services. For more information or to lease space at the Midway Mall, call 903-345-5422 or check us out online at midwaymalltexas.com. Midway Mall, 4800 Texoma Parkway in Sherman. We're here to stay.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Sherman, Texas. Welcome to the Midway Mall. As you can see, this mall is not doing so hot, despite being in a rural community north of Dallas. And you might be wondering, why would a mall in a rural area not be doing so hot when you're just an hour away from Dallas, half an hour away from Oklahoma, as well as the Metroplex around Dallas and Fort Worth? Well, the problem is the fact that, number one, this place has never really been renovated, as you can see. Number two, there is a strip mall not too far away from this mall that actually has more retail and a lot more businesses there. And for the community, even though it's a large community of 150,000 people, basically what everybody would rather do is travel the hour south down to the Dallas Metroplex and shop at malls in that area, as there are more variety and much more to do. Ironically, this mall was built to compete with the Sheridan Mall, which has been demolished many years ago. And it's not that it's hard to get to this mall. It's actually on the Texoma Parkway, which is adjacent to US 75, a major north to south freeway connecting Dallas and its suburbs to Oklahoma and points north. This is a fairly large mall at over 600,000 square feet and had 3 anchors, but as you can see now, only has Dillard's as well as Burlington's. And they do have several junior anchor stores. However, the occupancy level here is not very well. Midway Mall is challenged by an alarming and rapidly increasing vacancy rate. Now, keep in mind, when we were here, it was May 2020. It was approximately 2 weeks after the virus lockdowns had been lifted and businesses were allowed to reopen. So, some of the tenants in this mall weren't even open yet. However, when you consider them and the ones that are actually open in this video, there's not many here to begin with. And I can understand that. Even though I don't live in that area, I would much rather travel to the Dallas-Fort Worth area or to the nearby strip mall where there's a lot more retail there. So it's sad to see this mall in its shape. As you can see, it has the tent type roofing in this place. Has a really goofy layout as well. It's not a traditional mall where it's just one big hallway or like a trapezoid like a couple of the Mills malls. This one is kind of like a figure 4 in a way. It's very goofy, and when we were here, a big section of the mall was technically blocked off. However, we had seen that it looked like people had gone through it as a couple things were moved, and we were able to just walk on through and walk around this entire mall. We just did this to put this on video for you guys to save the memory of this place, not knowing what the future beholds for it. As for this being a mall in a rural community, finding info on this place was kind of challenging, such as I couldn't really find the info as to when this mall opened, other than it looks like it was in the 80s or 70s. It doesn't help matters that this mall hasn't really been updated, as I had mentioned. It feels old. It feels tired in terms of decor and the atmosphere. It is dimly lit in half of the corridors, and it kind of gives you a gloomy feeling when you're here versus more modern malls and other ones that have been renovated and are brighter. I still liked walking around this place, but it was rather disappointing that this place didn't have more life in it, especially for a rural community that would depend on a place like this. Keep in mind, like I said, the nearby strip mall has stolen a lot of the business from this, including the JCPenney's that used to be at this mall, which relocated in 2007. I did like the giant palm trees throughout this mall. It definitely gave you a sense of oldness here, if that's a term. And the circus light tent ceilings in here, which puff up to be somewhat over 50 feet in 3 different spots, including the food court. And they were pretty interesting to see in person. I know it's not much on camera, but in person, it's pretty neat. It does zigzag all around, as I had mentioned too, and that kind of makes it confusing for people, which is another reason why I feel like this mall may have failed. Whereas more modern malls, especially in the Metroplex of Dallas-Fort Worth, they're not as confusing in terms of the layout. One thing that caught my attention in here as well, besides the tables you just saw in this shot covered and unused, they appeared to have been like that for several years, to what I could find online in older photos. But the mall directories have not been updated in several years. They missed the departures of several tenants, including Bealls, Sears, Mervyn's, JCPenney, to name a few. I actually felt quite bad for the couple of people that were working in this mall, and a lady that was running a nail salon in here who I know was just desperate for customers, and I just don't understand how they were even able to make a buck. Now granted, it was right after the virus lockdown had been lifted and stores were allowed to reopen, but when we were at this mall, I can tell you, between Kayla and I, there were probably only 2, maybe 3 other customers walking around this mall at the time of our visit. All of the business seemed to point down towards Burlington Coat Factory, which was only accessible from the outside. And they were actually doing quite well. Since then, I'm not sure how this mall has been doing. I know several YouTubers have done walkarounds of this place, and it's interesting to see everybody's videos because everybody always puts a different perspective on it. So I do encourage you guys to look this mall up on YouTube, and you'll find dozens of results from here. But I needed to see this with my own eyes. I love this with the old colors, the old floor, the tile, the way the layout is, and the circus tents in this place. I couldn't not visit Texas and not visit this mall. So, given the info is kind of limited on this place, I'll stop talking now so you guys can enjoy the rest of the video and the sounds of waterfront dining, as of course. And I will talk to you guys later. So thank you all for watching. Thank you all to our Patreon supporters that support the channel and make videos like this possible. It's a lot of work that we do putting these videos together, and we really appreciate your support to help us get to these places. And we're looking forward to doing many more in the future. Here's one of those walls I was telling you about, where we were able to just walk around one and just go onto the closed wing, which you are now seeing and will see throughout the rest of this video until the end. So thank you again for everybody for watching. Take care, stay awesome, and stay tuned for everything we have coming up next here in 2021. Have a Kmartlicious day. Stay awesome. Bye-bye.